Let's begin in our child's pose, bringing our knees wide and big toes to touch. And allowing the forehead to rest gently down on the mat, spreading fingers wide. Taking a moment to ground down and drop into your mat right away. Spread the fingers out wide, bringing the hands shoulder-width distance if that feels good for you in your arms and your shoulders. Notice how each breath expands the lungs and the rib cage, the spine and the belly. And each exhale allows the body to settle more deeply into this pose of letting go, as the tail draws down and back towards the heels, and the eyes relax behind the lids. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth, and the jaw releases. Take a moment to scan the body from toe to fingertips and find places that you can let go in. Areas that have space for release. And as we deepen our breath, begin to send air to those places. Send flow and movement, allowing energy to release through the body. Lengthen both the inhales and the exhales. And begin to find your Ujjayi breathing. Ocean sounding breath, creating a whisper in the back of the throat. Our next inhale will bring gaze up between thumbs. Draw shoulder blades together and belly button in, and as we exhale, we'll hook toes for first downward facing dog of our practice. Take a moment to find any small micro movements here that feel good for you. Maybe nodding the head and releasing through the neck. Maybe fluttering through the lips, letting go in the jaw. Maybe walking out the feet and the hands, or wiggling the tail from side to side. And eventually finding stillness in your alignment with wrist creases parallel with the front edge of the mat. And the feet hip bones distance wide. As our belly button draws in towards the spine and our shoulder blades reach down towards the tail. Using the triceps to rotate inward towards center line, wrapping the arms in. Take a full breath, inhale, more breath. Exhale, walk feet to hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. Catch opposite elbows, and from here we'll rock the weight from right foot to left foot, swaying the body from side to side. Continuing to draw the belly in till it makes space in our low spine. And to find center in the feet here, maybe rock the weight in small circles. And just notice when the weight is in the toes, or one side or the other of the feet, or in the heels, and then find a place where it's right in the middle. Eventually finding stillness here. The top of the head draws deeply down towards the earth, allowing gravity to do all the work. And our next exhale releases hands from elbows if you've caught them. Root feet down, and as we inhale, reach all the way to the sky. Fingertips reach tall. Exhale, thumbs come to heart center. We'll begin our practice with an Om. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Exhale, fold. Fingertips reach towards the earth. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Crown of head and tailbone reach away from heart center. Exhale, fold. Root down through the feet, and as we inhale with a long spine, inhale, reach all the way high. Draw belly in. Strong legs and gentle bend as we exhale, forward fold, release down. Relax your baby toes as we inhale, lift, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, step back. Pause in your high push-up here and align shoulders over wrists. Notice where you're pressing the weight into the palms here and root it down to the inner line of the hands. Gentle bend in the elbows as the shoulder blades reach back towards the heels. Inhale, rock forward on the toes. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or lower halfway down, chaturanga, gaze forward. Inhale, reach heart center between shoulders, reach upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more full inhale. Exhale, walk feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply, root the weight into the heels, and inhale, lift up, Utkatasana. Pinky side edges of hands wrap towards center line for a full breath. Inhale, draw tailbone down. Exhale, palms through heart, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, drawing shoulder blades together, just like in our upward facing dog. Exhale, plant hands, step back. High to low push-up, elbows hug in towards center. Inhale, glide forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach right leg high. And exhale, step forward, drop back heel, rise up, gracious hero to 1. Breathe here. Relax the shoulders down and away from your ears. Front knee is bent over front ankle. So you can still see the big toe of your front foot if you take a peek down. Ground down through the outer edge of the back foot. And take both hip points to face the front of your mat by plugging right hip bone in and drawing left hip forward. More breath. One more full deep inhale. Exhale, both hands down through heart, plant them on either side of front foot, and move through your vinyasa. Engaging through the elbows as they brush the sides of the body, and inhaling through upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, inhale, lift left leg high. Exhale, step forward, gracious hero 1 on opposite side. Front knee is directly over front ankle, and back heel is drawn deeply into the ground, rooting into the earth. Face is relaxed. The jaw is loose. Settle in. Reconnect with the breathing. So even in stillness, where can you find flow? Each inhale lengthens somewhere. Fingertips energize, crown of head reaches high. And each exhale drops you more deeply into the pose. One more full breath in. Exhale, palms through heart, step back. High to low. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. On your next breath in, lift right leg high. Exhale, step forward. Drop back heel, inhale, gracious hero one. Exhale, peel open, gracious hero two. A good cue for alignment here is wrists over ankles. So that may look like you heel toe your front foot forward more. And then bending the knee deeply with the intention eventually of having it be parallel with the earth. Where are the shoulders? Where is the breath? Where is the gaze and the ease? On our next inhale, flip front palm to the sky. Drop back palm to back thigh and reverse your hero. Reaching right fingertips away from the right hip as the knee continues to bend deeply in the front. One more breath, inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, gracious hero two. Exhale. As we breathe in, lengthen front leg. Plug the right hip bone into the socket and stick the left hip back behind you. Reach front fingertips as far forward as possible, drawing the torso over the thigh. As we exhale, our right hand levers down to either shin or fingertips or palm on the earth. Think about stacking one lung on top of the other lung. Our tailbone draws underneath of us so that our heart can reach forward towards the sky. If you're finding it challenging to catch onto the shin, heel toe your feet wider, and this will give you a little more space for the reach. Notice if the hips are jutting out and draw them underneath you, peeling heart center high. Gaze is towards top thumbnail or directly in front of you for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, bend front knee, plant both palms, and step back, high to low. Inhale, glide forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, leading with hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift left leg high. Exhale, step through, gracious hero one. Full breath in lifts you all the way to the top. And your full exhale peels you open to gracious hero two. Right away, finding your alignment, and then stillness. Breathe deeply. On your next inhale, flip front palm to the sky. Drop back hand to back thigh and reverse your hero. If it's available for the neck, gazes towards top fingertips. And find one place you can relax. Is it the toes, or the jaw, or the eyes? Heart center reaches towards the sky for one more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come back to gracious hero two. Inhale, extend through front knee. Drop the back hip behind you, plugging the left thigh into the hip socket. Left fingertips reach forward as torso reaches over the thighs. And exhale to drop bottom hand to the earth or the shin. And right fingertips reach towards the sky, creating opening through the right side body. One more inhale, open heart center towards the sky, even more, maybe dropping top hand behind you slightly. Exhale, fold all the way down, gently bending front knee, planting hands alongside the front foot. And stepping back, move through your vinyasa. Inhaling through upward facing dog. And exhaling, sending the hips back for downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Draw the belly in. Spread the fingers wide. Set the intention of the heels reaching into the earth. Find length through the spine, maybe by bending the knees deeply and lengthening the tailbone to where the ceiling meets the wall. Once you've found this length, continue to draw the belly in and then straighten the legs, creating the longest, straightest upside down V possible. One more deep breath here in our downward facing dog. More audible ocean breathing for our exhale. Inhale, glide forward onto the toes into a top of a push-up. Bring the big toes to touch behind you and reach the heels towards the wall in the back of the room. Draw the belly button in and lengthen and strengthen through the side body. On our next exhale, we're going to rock over to the right side of the feet and inhale, lift left arm high. Optional, we can drop our bottom knee to the ground. Heart, hip, and ankle are in one line. The top hip reaches towards the sky as the belly draws in, and the top shoulder reaches slightly behind you. One more full, deep inhale. Press the earth away. And as we exhale, come back to center, top of a push-up. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step right foot all the way to right thumb, keeping our back heel lifted. Take a peek at the width between the feet, so like from the right side of the left side of your mat, that kind of width. And make sure that there's like a fist or two's distance between the feet. So you don't want the heels lined up here. I'm going to root my heel down into the earth directly beneath my knee and reach my left heel back. As we inhale, lift high for crescent lunge. Find your single gazing points. Draw belly in and knit the rib cage together, creating strong engagement through the core. Reach the back heel behind you as the back thigh lifts towards the sky. Find the inner thighs and think about them like a pair of scissors, so they want to squeeze together. This creates even more engagement through the thighs in the lower core. Inhale here. Exhale, relax the shoulder blades down the spine. One more breath to lengthen crown of head and fingertips tall. Exhale, bring palms to heart center. Both hands along either side of front foot. And step back, either moving through your vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. Meeting once again in our downward facing dog when you arrive. Bringing 2 big toes to touch. Inhale forward, top of a push-up, heels reach back and belly draws in. Press the floor away from you as you inhale. And exhale, roll over onto the knife side edge of the left foot and reach right palm high. Optional, coming onto the forearm here. Wherever you are, spread fingertips wide. Root bottom hand or bottom forearm deeply into the earth. Expand the feet as if you're standing on an imaginary wall at the bottom of your mat. More breath. More ease. One more full inhale. Extend right arm even higher. And exhale, plant both palms to the earth. And send hips straight back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift left leg high. Exhale, step all the way through, preparing for crescent lunge on the opposite side. Reach heel back. Draw inner thighs together. And on your next breath in, lift fingertips tall. Find a way to lengthen through the low spine. And sometimes this can look like bending the back knee and drawing the tailbone towards the earth first. Once we've found this neutral pelvis, then we can begin to lengthen back leg. Hip bones point towards the front of the earth. Eyes are at one soft gazing point. Breath is deep and steady through the nose. Where can you find let go? Notice the mind and the thoughts and simply acknowledge what happens. Always coming back to the breath and the body for one more inhale. Lengthen both crown of the head and the fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, hands through heart. Step back, high to low push-up. Inhale, glide forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On our next breath in, gaze between thumbs. As we exhale, walk or float the feet to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Upward facing dog in the shoulder blades. And exhale, fold. Big toes touch, root the weight into the heels. Bend the knees deeply and inhale, Utkatasana. Send the shins to the back of the mat. Relax the face. Inhale, lengthen fingertips. As we exhale, bring hands to heart center. Preparing for a twist, find your right elbow. And as we exhale, we're going to twist and hook our elbow to the knee. Check in with both knees, make sure they're in one line. So this may look like needing to draw a knee forward or back. Weight continues to root into the heels so the little toes can wiggle and wave, maybe to the neighbor in front of you. With the intention that eventually our thumbs come to heart center. More deep breathing, inhale. Exhale completely. With strong, vital legs, inhale, reach fingertips high. Exhale, hands to heart, hook left elbow to right knee, taking a twist to the opposite side. Knees are in one line. More breath. Each inhale lengthens the crown of the head and the tailbone away from each other. And each exhale deepens the twist just a little bit more. One more breath in, wherever you are. Exhale, palms to heart, forward fold, release. Wiggle the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant palms, step back, high to low. Inhale, forward, upward facing dog, smile through the collarbone. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here, spread fingers wide. Exhale, drop the knees to the front of the mat, coming to stand on the knees. Preparing for Ustrasana or camel pose. If you have a thin mat here, you may want to double it, just to give the knees a little padding. The tops of the feet can be on the earth or the toes can be hooked. The benefit of having the toes hooked is that it brings our heels a little bit closer to our hands. So just find where you're at today, maybe try both and see what works best for you. Creating lots of opening through the front body, the psoas, and the thighs, we're going to bring our palms onto our low back, as if we're putting our hands in our jean pockets. Shoulders and elbows reach back, creating opening through the heart center. We'll begin by inhaling to lift the chest towards the sky, with a gentle tuck of the chin as if you're holding a pencil between your chin and your throat. Continue to inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll bend all the way back. Maybe bringing our palms behind us to catch on to the heels. Continue to press the hips forward. If you notice a shortness of breath in any way, come out gently. One more full breath in, press hips forward a little bit more deeply. And exhale, slowly come out the way you came, bringing hands to low spine and slowly lifting the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale, release palms. Bring hands to the mat into tabletop with knees directly beneath hips and palms directly beneath our shoulder blades. Cross the shins beneath you and roll all the way back onto the bottom. And scoot the hips into the center of the mat. Preparing for bridge pose, we're going to roll all the way down to the earth and scoot the heels in as close to our butts as we can so that our fingertips can reach the heels. Put an imaginary block between the knees and squeeze it there. And keep it there for the remainder of our poses. As we move into bridge, we're going to root the heels down into the ground, creating strength from the heels and the pads of the feet. Arms alongside the body with palms face down. Exhale completely. As we inhale, press the heels so deeply into the mat that the hips float high towards the sky. Exhale, press the hips higher, continuing to hug that block between the knees. If it feels good, you can walk the shoulders underneath the body and clasp hands beneath the low spine. One more breath in, lift hips higher. And exhale, slowly lower one vertebra at a time. If it feels good, allow the knees to drop in towards one another, creating a little release through the low spine. Our last back bend of the series will replace our feet exactly as they were, hip bones distance wide. Knees are continuing to hug an imaginary block. Either move back into our bridge pose just as we did last time, or set up for Urdhva Dandasana, bringing the fingertips towards the shoulders. And the elbows are pointing towards the sky for full wheel pose. From here, we'll inhale, lift hips just as in our bridge, and bring the crown of the head onto the mat to start. Continue to hug elbows in towards center line, and maybe this is where we stay. Or we'll root the palms into the ground, lifting the hips high. Drawing shoulders towards the center line and reaching the heart towards the ground. Gaze is at the back wall or between the hands. Breathe in wherever you are. Breathe out. One more inhale for length and space, finding the deep breath. And exhale, slowly release down. Coming out just as you came in. Bring the hands to the backs of the thighs, catching onto the legs. Inhale, roll back. And exhale, rock forward. Taking this motion 2 or 3 more times. Exhaling to roll back and inhaling forward. On your next breath in, rolling forward, pause at the base of the bottom, settling the weight between the tailbone and the sits bones, moving into easy bow or Navasana. Notice if the body is rounding into the center, and draw shoulders back, lengthening the spine and the crown of the head. Inhale, extend fingers long. Exhale, cross right ankle over left, draw belly and knees towards center. Root the hands in front of the hips on the floor and take a lift. Back to Navasana. Inhale. Exhale, opposite ankle, take a lift. Inhale, 3 more times at your pace. Eventually coming back to Navasana, what has now become a resting pose. Inhale, lengthen legs, lift your sails for 1 breath in. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Scoot your hips back gently and spread the legs wide, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold. Big toes point towards the sky as the fleshy part of our bottom reaches behind us. So we're sitting directly on our sits bones. Draw belly in, knitting the rib cage together as shoulders reach down. Inhale, lift fingers high. Keeping length in the spine and toes pointing up, exhale to slowly reach forward. Eventually dropping the hands when you found your edge. Find a slow, steady breath. Find space and flow. Wrap the upper thighs away from center. So how can we create work and effort without the struggle? How can we find ease even in the poses of challenge for us and our bodies? Finding the flow of water in each movement. One more breath in wherever you are. One more breath out to settle more deeply. And as we inhale, slowly come all the way up. Bring the thighs together and find your way all the way down onto the mat. Hug the knees into the chest, giving them a giant squeeze, a long-awaited squeeze. And keeping the right knee in towards the chest, extend left leg long, coming into a supine twist. Inhale here, lengthen the back of the neck. And as we exhale, we'll cross right leg over the body, maybe drawing it towards the earth with left palm, and extending right arm wide or in a cactus arm, with the eventual intention that our shoulders will stay rooted into the earth. Find a place for your soft gaze that feels best for your neck. Breathe in here. And breathe out. Inhale, come back to center, drawing both knees back into the chest. And switching sides by hanging on to the left knee, drawing it in towards the heart center and extending right leg long. Draw the left knee across the body, coming into a supine twist on the opposite side. Again, tucking the chin slightly, creating length in the spine. And setting the intention of both shoulders reaching into the earth. Wringing out the spine. Squeezing out whatever is no longer serving us. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Setting the stage for release. Inhale, gently draw everything back into center, giving the knees a final squeeze in. On your next inhale, pause at the top of your breath and hold, and squeeze everything in towards the center. Like you're a little ball of light, fiery heat and energy. Squeeze a little bit more deeply. And exhale, release all the way down into Shavasana. Drop in, settle in here. Acknowledging new areas of space and opening. Knowing that everything is exactly as it should be, and you are perfect exactly the way you are. Begin to deepen the breath, giving the fingers and the toes a wiggle, bringing motion to the wrists and the ankles as we rock the head from side to side. And when you're ready, draw the knees into the chest. Eventually rolling over onto the right side of the body. And with eyes still closed, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. Bring palms together with thumbs at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And we'll close our practice with one unifying Om. Exhale. Inhale. Bring thumbs to the third eye point between the eyebrows. The divine light in me greets and acknowledges the divine light in each of you. Namaste.